Hey everyone, Anton Crayley here from Dropship Lifestyle, and welcome to the 6th episode of Dropship Weekly. Pretty cool, it's been going well. We've been getting tons of questions submitted every week. So as usual, I picked out a whole bunch of them that I'm gonna dive into and try to just answer you guys directly. But as always, I like to start off with one or two success stories. So Clint has been with us for about a year and a half now as a Dropship Lifestyle student, and he just broke over 1,000 sales on his second store, which is awesome. He's already built one store up to over 1,000 sales. He sold that one through our friends at the Empire Flippers. Now he built a second one that big. He's done like $275,000 in sales on it. So awesome, good work. As always, keep hustling with that. Next, I really like this. Ernest posted in the Facebook group that he was at an event in Charlotte, North Carolina this week. He traveled there to go to basically a business conference, and he was sitting next to another Dropship Lifestyle student named Mike. And as they were both sitting there learning more about business, they both had orders come in. So very cool that our community is connecting, literally just all different places and making money as they're doing it. So awesome, guys. I like it, and I hope you're both coming to Hawaii. Ernest, I know you are. With that being said, let's go ahead and just dive into this week's episode of Dropship Weekly. Okay, so the first question this week comes from Elizabeth, and Elizabeth says, "Hi everybody, do you think it makes sense to try to call suppliers I found from my list already without having made any sales?" So she's thinking of just calling like maybe 5 suppliers each day to see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, definitely, Elizabeth, you have to call these suppliers before you make sales. That's how you get products that you can actually generate sales with. As you go through module 2 of Dropship Lifestyle and the blueprint, you'll notice how I talk about the different tiers of suppliers, how you have the gold and the silver and the bronze. I would recommend holding off on the gold ones until you have some silvers listed on your site, but definitely, reach out. And I know you said, should you call 5 each day, but why not call more? The way that we do it, basically, if you're launching a new store, just call everyone, and the goal is to have them send you the supplier application, or the vendor application, I should say. And as soon as you get that, then just stop making calls, get that filled out, get that back to them, and see that kind of application through. But yeah, no reason to hold off. Go ahead and get started. If anything, don't call gold suppliers until you have some real products on your site. The next question this week comes from Condra. "I'm getting overwhelmed with uploading my test products. Most of the competitor websites' images cannot be copied. When I click on the images, it zooms in and there's no option to copy." So I see Long posted an answer that's definitely useful, but I'll kind of go a different angle with that. So what you're asking basically is, how do you get images to put up as demo products before you actually have real products to upload? Listen, you don't have to just go to your competitors' websites and copy them. If you're selling like computers, which you wouldn't be, but if you were, you could just go on Google image search, go for royalty-free images from the drop-down menu, search for laptops or computers, and just put up generic photos. They don't have to be real products from your competitors. They just have to be, literally like demo products. It could be anything. You can make up product names. You're not doing this to kind of try to gain credibility from other suppliers' names. You're doing it so your site has some product pages set up so that when suppliers come and check you out, they can see what your site would look like, and they can envision how their products would look on your store. So the next question that came in this week is from Susan. Susan says, "If you're checking out your competition and building your supplier list, is your competition a site that sells everything under the sun like Overstock?" She said, "I'm thinking not. Is there a reason we niche down so much to have a target audience instead of the whole world?" Yes, so the reason that we do niche down so much is because that leads to higher conversions. You don't want to build a site like Overstock that sells everything. It's not a one-person operation, first of all, and to get those sites to convert the way that niche sites convert takes a lot of work, and it's not something that I know I even want to do, and you probably don't either. If you find the niche that you want to sell products on, and the products are being sold on Overstock, that's not a bad thing. The problem with Overstock, though, is that they get special deals with suppliers. So let's just say you're looking at supplier ABC, and you see that Overstock sells some of their products. Overstock does get better pricing options. They're literally the one website I know of that can break MAP policies because they're supposed to be like an Overstock clearance thing, even though a lot of suppliers and brands use them just to drive more sales. So if you do find specific products from specific suppliers on Overstock, chances are you're not going to get a lot of sales from them. The good thing is that Overstock constantly is going through inventory, and they're bringing products on and they're going in and out. So, it doesn't mean I wouldn't use the supplier, but they are competition, but not directly. But it doesn't mean that, if you see them selling your products, you should move on. It's still totally fine to proceed with that niche. The next question this week is from Brent. Do we actually need approval from the company to sell their products as long as they are getting full price? So basically he's asking if he can go ahead and list other people's products and try to drive in sales, because he's saying that he can actually kind of control Google product listing ads for this supplier because no one else is advertising for them. So he's thinking maybe I'll just list their products, get sales for a higher price, and then drop ship them from the supplier. But can you do that without being approved? I mean, the short answer is no, you can't. Just think if you had a store and people were kind of just selling your products more money online without your permission, you probably wouldn't be too happy, and I'm sure they wouldn't either. That doesn't mean you can't work out a deal. If they're telling you that they don't drop ship or anything like that, there's probably ways you could work something out. One thing that I've done in situations like that, and this is assuming that this supplier told you they won't drop ship, you can ask them if they can private label products for you. So let's just say they sell, I don't know, like leather chairs, and they sell brown leather chairs. You can say, okay, if you don't want us to drop ship under your brand name, can we call them Brent's brown leather chairs? And if there's no competition for that model, maybe you can control that space on PLAs. So kind of a workaround there. But I wouldn't sell anyone's products without their permission. I don't think you should either. Next question this week, it comes in from Jonathan, and Jonathan says, I'm standing on my front steps having to think about my niche that he's looking into, and he's wondering about payment plans. He actually realized in a previous Dropship weekly video, I was talking about the forum post we had where someone got the order for $57,000 and the customer wanted to make payments on it because that's typically how these large B2B orders work. So he was just wondering, is there kind of like a deal you could work out where you're selling and getting strictly commissions? And he's saying, is this an option for drop shipping? Because he's worried that when he gets sales for some of his most expensive products, many people that want to purchase them will want to make payments, especially because he's selling in the medical field. First of all, with like the medical field, I have sold in that space before. There's tons of sub niches, and what I realized is a lot of different suppliers want you to go through distributors. So a lot of them don't drop ship directly, they direct you to a distributor. So that's the first thing I would say. Just make sure if you're doing it, you don't get into that situation, because they typically offer those volume discounts, the distributors do, for customers that move a lot of volume, meaning it's very hard to compete on price. So if you have that out of the way, if you found suppliers that actually will sell directly to you and let you sell directly through them, then you're good there. As far as the payment options, it doesn't really become a concern until you're talking, like 5-figure deals, like 10,000 plus. And usually when people want to make payment plans, it's not on a $1,000 item, a $2,000 item. It's when they want to buy 20 of one item. Let's just say you're selling wheelchairs, right? And a nursing home wants to order 50 of them. They're not going to want to send you $50,000 at once. They're going to say, okay, we'll make a deposit for whatever, $15,000, and we'll pay the rest when we get them delivered. When that happens, that's the situation basically that happened on the forum with the $57,000 order. And that's when, if you're not comfortable floating that kind of cash, that it makes sense to actually reach out to your supplier, make a deal where you can earn a commission and they can accept the funds. So, I really wouldn't worry about it. If those bulk opportunities do kind of come into your store once it's live, then you can work out deals with your suppliers, but you shouldn't set up your store with that being the goal, because that's not how the business would work or should work. Next question this week is from Corey, and Corey says, hi everyone, quick question here. I just got off the phone with a gold supplier and they want me to purchase their products before they set up a dropshipping account for us with them. But basically he called a supplier, a very good one, a gold supplier, and they said they want him to pre-purchase $6,500 of inventory before they authorize him to sell their products. So he was asking, what should he do? Because he doesn't really want to invest that much money, and that's good, you shouldn't. I've had tons of suppliers say the same thing to me, and we always say, listen, we work online only. We do not even have a warehouse. We're not willing to do that. And we just have a conversation, but it almost always gets kind of waived. And what's funny is I was going to just mention that you should not do this, and that you should just contact them, let them know that you're online only. You don't have any place to store them. It's not part of your business model to do this. And then I saw there's already comments below this on Facebook, and that's what you did already. And they said, okay, they'll approve you anyway. So congratulations. But for anyone else watching this, just know that if you get hit with that kind of response, there's definitely workarounds. Nothing's set in stone when it comes to these pre-orders. So, thanks for asking the question. It's a good one, and congratulations on getting that approval without having to put up $6,500. Okay, so this week we also had some tips posted. They weren't really questions, but just things that different students have mentioned on the Facebook group that I wanted to bring attention to because they are useful and maybe you didn't see them when they were first posted, but these are things you should definitely be doing. So Jose said, just closed the sale while chatting with the customer through the Zopim chat app that was struggling with the payment. And he said, add it to your store if you don't have it yet. Customer service is key. And it's so true. Like if you don't have this, just add it. They have an iPhone app. They probably have an Android app. If you're on your laptop and someone wants to contact you, it'll come in. But basically, what Jose is saying, which is true, is you should have live chat. Someone asked a question like, well, what if you're not at your computer? What do you do? And it's just like email. If you're not there, you'll get a message and you'll get an email with that question that the prospect asked, and you could follow up when you're back. So something you should definitely do. A lot of people get more live chats than actual phone calls or emails now. So put it on your site. It's an easy way to instantly increase your conversions if you're not doing it yet. So thank you, Jose, for that tip. The next one is from Ernest, and he posted just a few things that he thinks everyone should be doing. He said this week he put a lot of effort into optimizing his site, went back, he was tweaking things, and it led to really instant results, like more sales right away. So a few tips he actually gave, some bullet points. Number one is always continue to learn as you earn. If you remember early in this episode, I showed you Ernest and Mike were actually at a business conference as they were making money from their dropshipping stores. So yes, I'm all about that. Don't stop learning. We teach you everything we know, but don't stop. There's always more to learn. And he said, number two, conversion rate optimization is an ongoing process to continuously tweak. So that's 100% true, right? There's not one line of code, there's not one app, there's not one theme that's gonna just make everyone's store successful. Everyone sells in different niches. You need to do some unique things on each of them. And the way you figure out what works best for you is by testing and getting your conversion rates up. So don't stop, always learn, always implement things, and then just watch the results and see what happens, okay? That's the way that your business is gonna grow. The next tip is awesome. This is from Jared. Jared's actually an attorney who's a member of Dropship Lifestyle, and he linked us to a podcast episode about business structure advice. So if you're curious, we don't really talk in Dropship Lifestyle a lot about S-Corps and LLCs and sole proprietorships and tax, just because it's different for everyone. And I know for me personally, I'm not an expert with it. I basically set up my first store like 10 years ago. I started making sales. I went to an accountant that I found on Google. I sat down and said, this is what I'm doing, and help me. And they did. So for me, it's very hands-off. But for anyone starting out that's trying to get some advice, Jared is an attorney and he linked to a podcast. That's a good resource. So definitely check that out. And some good news as well. If you're looking for this extra information about legal structures and taxes within Dropship Lifestyle, we are talking to lots of different attorneys now that we're trying to bring on to have them create content for us. That should help you. If you are curious, like what my structures are, I have S corporations. So I went that route instead of the LLC, really because that's what my accountant recommended, but also because there's basically some tax breaks where you could take part of your income as salary and the rest as distributions. And for me, that made the most sense. Maybe it does for you as well. But again, we'll probably be adding some training to Dropship Lifestyle as soon as we find an attorney to create it for us, because I'm not sharing that information. One more cool thing that happened this week that I wanted to share. We have our retreat. At the time I'm filming this video, it's coming up in about a month, so that's in Hawaii. And I made this post in the Facebook group for the retreat. So if you're coming to Hawaii and you're not part of this yet, send us a message so we can get you added. But we were asking for things like above and beyond what we already have planned, what people want to do. And I just wanted to show the results. It seems like the helicopter volcano tour is by far number one. That's in first place. So we're going to be doing that. We also have a dive trip organized. It might be a night dive trip, which is pretty cool. I've never done that before. Then we have a trip to the Kona Brewing Company, where all that delicious beer comes from. And then we're going up to the observatory, which is the biggest one in the world. Just it's insane. I went there last time I was in Hawaii, but that's part of the retreat as well. And if you're not part of this group yet and you're going, again, let us know so we can get you added into this Facebook group and actually get your feedback on everything. All right, so I hope those question and answers and those tips really helped you out. Now I just want to wrap this up as I usually do with sharing a few more successes and just just recognize people in the community for really helping out and sharing some good tips. But first, Chris, he said, I had a supplier tell me my website is awesome. I can't take all the credit. Thanks mostly to Laura Craley and the Dropship Lifestyle design team. So I just wanted to say thank you to Laura. Obviously, she's my sister. Obviously, she works for us, but she's been crushing it with web design. We're getting positive feedback every week from all the sites she's designing. So good work, Laura. And Chris, I'm happy your suppliers are loving your site before you're even approved, and that will help with the approval rates. If they go to your site and they like it, you're much more likely to get approved with those top tier suppliers. So good stuff. This next post I love. This is from Zafan. And he posted this yesterday, and he said, wow, I made my first sale this morning. The funny thing is, I wrote in my progress report yesterday night that he hopes to make his first sale before October 14th, which is, just so you know, it's about like 3 weeks away. And he literally made his first sale as soon as he wrote his goal down. So that was awesome. So congratulations on that. And the coolest part is that he followed up on it a few hours later, and he said, damn, this works, man. 2 sales in 48 hours, on fire. So congratulations on your first 2 sales, and way exceeding your own goals you set for yourself of the October 14th deadline. So congratulations, many more to come. And I know you did put in a lot of work before you got these. So great job, pushing through and setting yourself up for the success that's coming now. Really good work. Chris just said yesterday was his first day with 2 sales. Again, he said this stuff works, man. Chris is in Australia, so if you're in Australia and you're wondering if dropshipping works there, yes, it does. First day with 2 sales, $3,669 in revenue. Congratulations. He's motivated. He's trying to motivate other people. So thank you for doing that. Anytime someone shares their success, in our groups, we appreciate it. It does help keep everyone moving forward that maybe is feeling discouraged, because you obviously have to put in that work before results. So thank you for keeping us all motivated and showing everyone this stuff does work when you take action. Next, Ashley, he's been a member of Dropship Lifestyle for a while now. He's been focusing on optimizing the site, he said recently, and pretty cool. He got a sale for $849 as he was online shopping for a gift for his daughter's birthday. So that's awesome. I mean, that's a cool feeling, and congratulations. Once again, that hard work of, like we've been talking about, optimizing your site is paying off. So good work. You're all setting yourselves up for the holiday season. And we're moving now. It's the end of September, so moving into October and November. That's when online sales just totally skyrocket. So everyone that's still in the building process, or everyone that's already built, just keep going, because sales are about to pick up. And I'm excited for the future, next 1 or 2 months of this show, because I think we're going to have a lot of huge numbers coming in as our students are really optimizing their stores and getting ready for this holiday rush. So that's going to do it for this week's episode, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you got value, if you can like it or give it a thumbs up or share it or even tag someone that might be interested. And this show is basically created to celebrate your success. I could do that when you post your results, so please keep doing that. And it's also here to answer your questions. So I need questions also. I think the best way to do it, which no one's taken me up on yet, but if you want to do like a video, you can use your iPhone or your computer camera and just submit a video question. I could put it in next week's episode and just answer whatever you need help with. So get that done. And again, I'll see you next week for the next episode of Dropship Weekly. Thanks.